Howdy, this is Nicole Garcia, and my top 10 list of money and mission principles. I'm going to take you through my 10 ideas about where we've been and where we are going in the terms of money and mission. Let's start with, what do we hear all the time? Well, if we have a bigger and better church and people can see us, they're going to show up. Because if we have Little House on the Prairie, well, if we had a great cathedral structure, we would be drawing people in. But the main drawback is the fact that it takes a significant capital outlay to make this work. So if we can't make the outside beautiful, remodel. If we make the inside look like a big, beautiful cathedral, people will just start pouring in. And if they do that, well, we could just start off by going all the way and build this auditorium with 5 to 10,000 people. But really, is that what attracts people? What do we really want out of our sanctuaries, out of our church buildings? We want it to be like home. Now, granted, this might be taking it a little bit far, but we really want people to build community in the church, to be comfortable with each other, to share with each other. So how do we start? By becoming home. Well, we start looking at money. We can look at and just pour over the financial statements, our assets and liabilities, and figure out where everything balances. But do people really give just to make sure that the two columns are the same? Or do we really talk about, how do we make money holy? This starts the conversation on, who are we as a people? How do we make money holy? Are we simply following the law, or are we proclaiming the gospel? Figuring out who we are, what is our mission, is the first place to start. We have to look at, how have we been raising money? How have we been doing stewardship? Do we do a traditional drive and just count on people to put in their spare change and write a check once a week and put it in the plate? Or do we access some technology? How can people use their checking accounts or debit cards to be able to give directly every month without any hassle or trouble? Can we let them swipe their card? Then we have to look at our website. Now, frankly, the website on the left, I have no idea what church it is. I don't know how many of the people in my congregation would know what the Greek letters stand for up top. And there's not much else I can figure out about this website. The website on the right, you can see plainly where the church, who the church is, where they're located, and a lot about the church. And right in the middle, join us at Shandon this week with pictures of kids that are bright and colorful. That draws people in. And how do we give them access to information about our church and how they can give to the church? Then we have to look at, how do we utilize our building right now? Are we using it for teaching? Are we using it for preschools? My church that I'm serving at the moment has a preschool in the basement. Who comes in the doors? Do we have preschools? Do we let AA and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and train groups, anybody else use our buildings? How many times do we have Bible study? How many times do we invite other people into the building? How do we utilize it? And who talks about money? Is it only the pastor? Is it only the pastor who stands up and gives the sermon about fulfilling our budget? Or do we allow the congregation to be involved? And how do we get the congregation involved in stewardship? Our stories. Now, the congregation I'm serving now has a narrative budget. So the pastors and the individuals who are on committees tell their stories. We tell people who does what, with bright, colorful pictures, with pie charts, with listing everything that people do, and at the end of the narrative budget, there is an explanation of who we are as a community. Yes, we give unto God what is God's. We are all children of God, created in God's image. We have a responsibility to be faithful and read Scripture. We have a responsibility to follow Jesus. But how do we do that? We celebrate our faith. We find ways to use the building in new and different ways. The picture on the left is our contemporary service, where the kids are involved, where we have a musician and we sing contemporary and sometimes secular songs in order to draw people in. There were 42 people at this one of 3 services this past week. So it's a different way to use the building. Then we send people out. The picture on the right is a youth gathering where people are building and taking charge of how they do outreach. We never start celebrating our faith. We do it on the road, people going out into the community and finding ways to take Jesus and proclaim the gospel. And of course, we celebrate our faith in the sanctuary by utilizing all the gifts and talents God has given us and share those gifts and talents with the world. Thank you.